Hey, welcome to YouTube Live. We usually do this on Facebook.
Yes, we do.
But here we are. We're live, baby. We're live.
I tell you, it's a little different not having the camera looking back at us where we can see ourselves today.
Oh, that's true.
It's like a little getting used to, because I'm like, I'm so used to looking up and seeing myself, and I can't see myself today. So I'm like, is it really on? Is it really showing me?
He's not going to know how to act that he can't see himself.
I know.
But, we're going to have a good time. This is Robbie Wheaton from Wheaton Arms. You guys have seen him 1,000 times. If you're following typically on Facebook Live, we do this every Tuesday. We're going to start doing at least once a month on YouTube. And so just great to have you guys joining us. And Robbie Wheaton owns WheatonArms.com. They do a ton of different Glock aftermarket parts, barrels, one of the best, in fact, not the best, aftermarket trigger. Their flat face trigger is phenomenal. And as I usually say on Facebook, I'm not just saying that. It is honestly excellent. I use them all the time, and we have tested those things like crazy.
Wait till after the show today. I got something new to show you.
Oh, good. You'll have to wait. But and Sarah Mack, a couple other things too I want to mention. Robbie is has been a gunsmith for over 20 years, and he does custom gun work at WheatonArms.com. You can check it out. And just has a lot of knowledge. In fact, we call him the walking encyclopedia of gun knowledge. And, and here I am for entertainment. Sarah Mack's over on the computer monitoring questions. We're going to take a few minutes first. We're going to talk a little bit, and then we'll go to questions. And we like to do a lot of questions. Definitely pipe in, say where you're hailing from and how your quarantine experience has been. We're going to talk a little bit about that, but not too much. I'm sure we've kind of overdone it in a sense. I mean, it is what it is. Looks like states are kind of loosening things up. One thing I do want to mention, though, is there's a House bill coming up. They're trying to sneak in all kind of gun control. Mm-hmm. And guys, we've just got to stay vigilant and make sure that we bat this down as soon as possible. And we've talked about it a number of times on Facebook. But guys, you just got to get connected with Gun Owners of America, NRA, Second Amendment Foundation, local, state. Like for us, we have the Palmetto State, the Palmetto Gun Rights Group here, and I'm a part of that. And you need to be also connected in locally. That is really important. A lot of you guys are in your states that have passed stupid restrictions. And, you've got to be involved.
Yeah. All of our friends in Virginia. Oh, man.
Yeah. I mean, the Virginia, those people up there have lost their minds, the House and the Senate. And, of course, Northam is just a petty tyrant and showing his colors again during this COVID-19 thing. So, those people just need to be out. They have no place in American politics, honestly, not for what our foundations and our freedoms are all about. And so, we've got to stand up against these people, guys, because silence is consent. And if you're not out there actively pushing, and guys, it is a battle that we will never win. And it's a battle we will always have to fight. Mm-hmm. But we can do everything we can to make things change. We can change things. And so we need to get in here and do it. So first thing off the list. Well, first thing I want to say is we're going to Sportsman's Guide didn't necessarily sponsor this or anything, but they do offer $100 off, $20 off every $100 purchase. Man, that'd be good. $100 off
right, every $20.
Let's get on there and start buying. $20 off every $100 purchase using just Such. Now, I didn't tell Sarah Mack, so she doesn't quite have a link. And if she could throw a link up there, it would be beautiful, but she can't. So
it's not Scooch.
It's not Scooch. It's not Scooch. It's Such. SOOTCH. Yeah, not Scooch. I get called Scooch all the time. I don't know why, but maybe I look like a Scooch. I don't know. I'm not even a Such. I'm Don, but hey. But anyway, it's just great for them to offer that. And just thought I'd pass that along to you guys. Now, one thing I do want to talk about, something brand new we just got in, the IWI Zion 15. And this is made in Pennsylvania. Everything is produced right there in Pennsylvania. So this is not an imported AR-15. It's mid-length gas system, 18-inch barrel, 4150 chrome moly vanadium, 1-8 twist. And it's just a beautiful rifle. B5 stock and grip with a little bit more of that angle, the downward angle, probably about an 80 degree or 70 degree angle. It's pretty tight.
Yeah, it's pretty straight.
Magpul window magazine, and QD point. We're doing a review on this. We're going to be coming up, but this is the way it comes. And, basically it's just a good quality AR. There's not really anything extremely different about it, but, IWI does make excellent products.
Yep.
And I was really excited to get it. So
I'm looking forward to doing the accuracy testing with it.
Yes. Yeah. We're going to check it out. Yep. We're going to get out and shoot the fire out of it. And we have Fiocchi for a little while. They were having some issues because of ammo. Everybody was wanting it. Fiocchi sponsors our ammo. We really do appreciate it. We could not shoot as much as we do without it. We couldn't really do the test that we do. And it's really great for them to jump on board. And so we've got plenty of ammo to put through it, which we're going to do.
Yeah. If it wasn't for Fiocchi, both of us would have Popeye forearms from reloading all the time.
Yeah, we'd be reloading for sure, as much as we shoot. So
Sarah Mack wouldn't be able to moderate because she'd be over there pulling the handle on the press right now.
Speaking of which, get those magazines loaded.
Right. Chop, chop.
Yeah, right. But this is coming up. This ought to be a lot of fun. Guys, there are a lot of new gun owners out there. Mm-hmm. There are tons of new gun owners. And so make sure that if you have anyone that has not been a gun owner before but has started, take them to the range. Take them to the range and get them started. Because a lot of people will buy those guns and they'll stick them in their closet.
Yep.
And this will help them to develop a love for firearms. It'll help them to develop a love for the Second Amendment. And so we've got that. This is the big thing. And, just recently they did a top 10, or actually it was a number of different influencers on YouTube. It was Moms Demand Action. They put this paper out to the Medical Association.
So not a positive spin.
No, we were Public Enemy. This is Public Enemy all the way down. I was number 10 on the list. And one of the things they said was, one of the things they said is that influencers on YouTube are influencing people to buy guns. And this is a big, oh no, let's don't do that. Listen, that makes me go, great. That's awesome. Let's do it.
That means you're doing your job.
That's right. That's right. Because here's the mission that we have with our channel is to promote your self-defense is your responsibility. It is not law enforcement's responsibility. They're there just to enforce the law once it's broken. You're there to protect your family. You're there to protect yourself or others, like in our state. Mm-hmm. If someone's being attacked, we have the right to defend them. And so,
what it's called?
Well, the castle doctrine would be inside. So so stand your ground?
No, to defend someone else, it's called the alter ego rule.
Oh.
So you put yourself in their place to defend them.
Oh. Okay, so we have the alter ego rule. Hey, we have an alter ego. All right.
Got the book open.
We got a rule to have that. But, and then the second part of our mission is our Sensible Prepper channel. And it is for people to be self-reliant. And guys, we have just gone through a crazy time in our country. And guys, if you're not at least thinking about being more self-reliant, doesn't have to mean you have to be a doomsday prepper or preparing for the zombie apocalypse. Just prepare. Get yourself in good shape. Right now we're building our gardens. We've got everything going. We're going to be, producing food, because here's the thing, guys. If you don't have food, your options are very limited. And when you have to stand in the government bread line, and who knows what you have to give up to do that, you're not having to stand in that line. So it's really important. Those things are just basic. Now, I will say this. We have had some internet issues. Last night on Patreon Live, we actually went for about 45 minutes, and then the internet, and we do have a few issues with our modem. They're coming out to change it this afternoon. So if things start dying, we may have to shut off. So if we do, we just have to. But I want to give you guys fair warning. So anyway, we're here. We're ready for action. And
well, the problem is everyone's still at home, right? So they're sucking up all the bandwidth in the middle of the day when you and I usually have plenty of it to be able to do our show.
Yeah. Well, usually during the day, it seems like a little better. So, hopefully at night, everybody jumps on. But hey, we're glad to have you guys.
Maybe we'll have to start doing this at 10 o'clock in the morning when all the teenagers are still in bed.
They're not gaming, streaming their games. Hey, that's probably a good point. I know Grant's still in there asleep. So, hey. But anyway, so if you have some questions, you need answers. If you have some things that you want to bring to us, please feel free to jump on. I'll tell you this, guys. A lot of times when we do Facebook, we're able to kind of keep up with it, even though we'll have 10 to 15,000 people. On YouTube, it gets real crazy. And I'll tell you this, we did super chat on our Sensible Prepper channel, actually to raise money for Meals on Wheels. This was about last month.
Mm-hmm.
And it was so distracting. We raised over $300, but we were so distracted. We said, the heck with that. We would rather we don't care about that. We just want to say hey to you guys.
Rather focus on you guys.
Okay. So if Sarah Mac, do you have something and we'll start, or unless you guys are just quiet. I mean,
They're not.
She's trying to find it.
Just making sure that I go back to questions. Ray Anderson asked,
Hey,
hey,
Ray.
Don, have you had any experience with the Bushmaster XM15 E2S?
That was actually my first AR-15.
You know what? It was actually my second.
Yep.
But I still have it. In fact, I have two. I bought them back when they were made in Windham, Maine.
Yep. Oh yeah. Yep. Back in the mine was probably late 90s.
Yeah.
When I got mine.
Oh, mine was definitely like 95.
Yeah. Mine was during the middle of the Clinton crime ban.
Right.
So I couldn't have one of the evil birdcage flash hiders on it or a threaded barrel for a muzzle brake.
Oh, I bought mine right at I was desperate.
Oh,
in fact, I went to CDN in.
Yeah. CDN Sports.
And I bought a Colt heavy barrel AR. And it was so heavy, so big. And at the time, that was my first AR. So then I went and bought a Bushmaster. I traded it for a Bushmaster because I had the collapsible stock shorter. Yep. It had the 11.5-inch barrel, that long, dumb thing. It was so dumb.
So I went the opposite way. I went with the 20-inch A2 carry handle, A2 front sight post.
Sure you did, Marine.
Yeah. Well, you know.
Sure you did. The great guns, though. Great guns.
Yes.
Now, the new ones, Freedom, whatever they are, the Freedom Group.
And they're all gone now.
Yeah, they've stopped selling Bushmasters.
Yeah.
Altogether. That's no longer. So, there you go. All right.
Douglas Mortimer
Hey, Douglas.
Robbie, are your barrels better than KKM?
I would say they're comparable with KKM. We used to use a lot of KKM barrels with our builds probably about 10 years ago before we started making our own barrels. And KKM makes great products, and I highly recommend them. And I tell guys all the time, KKM is one of the few barrel companies that I would say is comparable with our barrels.
But the one great thing, though, and KKM is an excellent company. One thing that I really love, if you've ever seen those Glock 40 caliber police trade-ins, he has conversion barrels. And I'm going to tell you what, I have about 4 of those because they're so cheap. And I put 9mm conversion barrels in each one. So just great guns, great barrels. Yes.
Dave McCool asked, when is the review on the Primary Arms ACSS coming?
The 2X GLX, that is incredible. The review is done, but the scopes will not be available till about May, maybe the mid-May, but about around May. And so I did the review on it because Dimitri at Primary Arms sent me a couple of prototypes. We tested the crap out of those things, and they are great scopes. Of course, ACSS reticles are incredible.
Yep.
So that review is done. It's ready, but I can't post it yet, but it's coming up. But I'll just tell you this. It's excellent. I mean, I always thought 2X, how dumb is 2X? I mean, why do you need a 2X? But I talk about that. And guys, it is a great CQB out to 500 yards. 2X. Go figure. Yeah.
Sean Stevenson
Sean.
mentions, do a video on what's in your family's pack or bags. I got a wife and 2 kids.
That's great.
That'd be a
That's
great
good
video
to be
to do.
concerned. Each of my kids and my wife have a go bag in their vehicle at all times. It was really funny because I definitely have one. And that's outside of my bug out bag, but I have a go bag that has all the essentials if I need to get home. And it's really funny because I ended up going to the gun shop to pick this up, the Zion 15. So I went to pick it up and I got there and I thought, I don't have a mask. I don't have anything because we have not gone anywhere. That's the first place I've gone except for the house and the range for the past 5 weeks, at least, maybe 6 weeks. And so I went up there and all of a sudden I said, wait a minute. I looked in my go bag. I had a mask, and that was one of the nicer, neoprene masks. I had it actually for dust and smoke and everything else. And that was one thing. I have used that bag over and over and over in different situations. So we'll definitely put together something. In fact, I talked to my wife last night and we were talking about going through those bags and make sure they're up to date. This is another thing about those bags.
Yep.
Julio Hernandez asked,
Hey,
what
Julio.
do you guys recommend for a defensive 5.56 round?
Well, this is, I mean, to me, honestly, I just get the cheapest 5.56 because I want to stock up a lot of it.
Yeah.
Now, if you're wanting it for a home defense, what would you recommend for like a home defense? Something a little heavier.
I think it really kind of depends on where you live. If you live on a farm and you've got a lot of land surrounding your house, you can just use 55 or 62 grain ball would work fine. If you're in maybe an apartment or in a neighborhood and you have to worry about over penetration, you might want to look at something like the Hornady VMAX or some of your frangible stuff that's going to limit penetration,
right?
And just kind of limit the potential of exposure to your neighbors if you have to shoot someone in your house.
Right. That is something really to consider, guys, because bullets do travel right through walls, and so you can really cause some damage, some collateral damage, especially if you're having to defend yourself against multiple attackers. And so, frangible to me would be a great choice for standard. Now for my standard ammo that I like to put back, I don't get the cheapest because I like to have something that's good quality, but I try to get them on deals. Mm-hmm. So, but that's true for self-defense. That's definitely something to consider.
Taticus Legion 78 asks, thoughts on bolt action rifles as a prepper option? Every gun store I've been to has tons of bolt rifles and hunting calibers like 30-06 just sitting there gathering dust.
The big problem with a bolt action, now they're fine for self-defense. I mean, because you can really get long ranges out of them. And, the Remington 700,
great rifle,
the SP, the heavy barrel. I mean, we have those. I love them. And 308 or 6.5 Creedmoor is like the bomb.com as far as ballistics. But here's the problem. If you're thinking of it as a prepper option, you got to think about what is readily available.
Ammunition availability.
Right. That is key. And one thing that I've always based my prepping on is military calibers.
Narrows it down to 2, doesn't it?
Well, yeah, 308 and 5.56. And then, of course, 9mm for the handgun. But that's my thing. If you have a source to be able to get quality, a good quantity of 30-06 ammo, then do that, because it was the gun that won World War II. Pretty much.
And there's still a lot of surplus stuff being imported from Israel, the 30-06 ammo. So you can still find some deals on 30-06 full metal jacket or 30-06 ball stuff for a SHTF long-term storage prepper option.
Yeah, but if you're wanting something for long range bolt action, it's not going to be a great gun for personal close self-defense. So you really, obviously you need to have something a little more. I mean, there's a lot of options out there, and Palmetto State Armory is one of the best for just a budget AR-15 that's decent quality. But I always consider having something of a longer range other than 223.
Yep.
Or 7.62 by 3.9. And so I want something that gives me a little bit more range capability. And so, if you want to pick up a bolt action rifle for that and you can stock up some 30-06, go for it. I mean, if you can get a good deal.
Yeah. But otherwise, I'd probably stick with 308.
Yeah. Here's the thing. If you can get 308 cheaper, and even though the rifle is cheaper in the long run, you got to weigh that out, because you've got a 30-06 and you got this ammo that's super expensive. You might as well have bought a 308 that you can get the ammo for.
Yep.
Just throwing it out there. But if you can find the ammo reasonably, or you can't find 308 because right now everybody, things are starting to slow down a little bit, but that's just my thoughts.
Gerald Gabriel asked, what do you think about the CMMG 300 Banshee?
Love it. Well, I don't know that I don't think I have a 300 blackout, but I do have the 10mm. I do have the 9mm. I have a 45. CMMG, really, they're one of the most innovative.
Yeah,
their delayed blowback, radial blowback is soft shooting.
Very soft shooting rifle. Very soft shooting.
They use Glock mags typically, or you can use PMAG, whatever. But those are the CMMG overall has been very impressive. Very impressive.
High Tech Redneck asks,
hey man,
how's it going with your South Carolina Attorney General suing your mayor of Columbus for ignoring the Second Amendment?
I don't know. I should be ashamed of that, but I don't know. But knowing South Carolina is probably going in a good direction.
Yeah, I know that the paperwork and everything's been filed for it, but nothing's really been said other than the briefs being filed. So I think right now with a lot of the court stuff, because of the COVID-19, everything has really been put on hold until after that, when we can start getting people back in office and back in the courts for those things to move forward.
But again, thanks for bringing that up, because, again, there are people that are doing bad things with the Second Amendment, and there are people that are doing good things.
Very proactive.
And we need to make sure that we get behind it either way, get behind stopping it or get behind promoting it.
Abdur Rahman asked, hello, do you guys have a video on the Mossberg MMR? If not, what do you guys think of it?
No, we don't. Not the MMR. We just haven't had any experience. We haven't had any experience with
nothing with that one.
Target Market 85 asked, how likely do you think an SHTF situation is likely to occur in the near future? I would rather take control of the situation as soon as possible and being back to the real meaning of the whole Constitution.
SHTF, that's like, okay, November of last year, I'm sitting here going, I'm talking about all this prepping stuff. I've been doing it for years and years and years. We've never had to break into our long-term food. I mean, we've never been short. Now all of a sudden January hits and all hell breaks loose. This is the thing about prepping. This is the whole thing. Is it only has to happen once.
It's kind of like car insurance or homeowner's insurance,
I don't go out and worry about having an accident in my vehicle, but I'm sure if I don't have car insurance, I'm worried. But I don't expect to have any kind of accident. Just like listen, guys, you invest in your prepping, you put your food back. I mean, have at least 3 months worth of food, at least. And with this going on right now, that may even be short-sighted.
Yeah.
I mean, for us, we have a year plus. We have, when all this hit, we were like, okay, we see the grocery stores going out. We want milk and eggs and things like that. But really, as far as eating, we have not had any issues because we were prepared.
You look at historical trends back in the early 1900s with the Spanish flu. The Spanish flu didn't go through the United States just once and it was done. It was 3 years in a row.
Right. That's right.
That we had the Spanish flu, and it progressively got worse. It was bad the first year, worse the second year, and even worse the third year. And this COVID-19 could be the very same way.
Right.
It could be bad this year, what I would call a bump in the road, a wake-up call for everyone. This coming fall, winter, it could be even worse. And maybe the year after that, it could be even worse, especially if we don't figure out some sort of vaccine for it.
Right.
So it's one of those things that, this was I would call it almost a warning sign that, hey, if you're not in the right mindset and have your things in place, now you've got 9 months, 6 to 9 months to get everything in place.
Maybe.
That's right.
Maybe it won't subside. Now it's starting to come down.
Yeah.
So, but here's the thing, prepping is not something that has to consume everything about you.
No, it's just a part of your life.
That's why my channel's Sensible Prepper, but it needs to be part of your life because you need to be more self-reliant.
Yeah.
That's what America was founded on, is self-reliance.
Absolutely.
And so, that's the thing. We don't know what's coming. But I'd like to get back to my life. I love going out to eat at really nice restaurants and going to the movies and going to Cabela's or PSA, because we have a local PSA here, Palmetto State Armory. And I can go in there and pick up whatever I want to, but can't right now. But I don't know if I answered your question because there was some levels to it, but I think
we covered it pretty good.
I think highly recommend, guys, is get yourself in good shape and then don't worry about it. It gives you peace of mind.
Kentucky Brandon asks, Suits, have you ever used the Core 15 AR pistols? Thoughts?
No, I've heard a lot about the cores. Have you had any experience with them?
I have had some experience with them. And all of my experience that I've had with them has been very positive. Tolerances are good with the guns. Everything works with it, fits. They've been reliable. So, for a basic, maybe a first AR or something like that, or a truck gun that you're just going to throw behind the seat and not really worry about, for a low-cost alternative to like a Palmetto State Armory rifle, they've been good guns. I've had really good results with them.
Good.
Colonel Douglas Mortimer asks, but what about the 357 SIG? I'm assuming probably in reference to prepping or...
That's another one. Well, I'll tell you this. I am right now currently, I just got a SIG 357, or not
about a month ago.
It's been longer than that.
Yeah.
It's the Glock 357 SIG, Model 32. And really just wanting to do some testing. After that church shooting in Texas, that's what he used. And so it just kind of revived what I thought about it. The problem right now is we can't find ammo. we're wanting to test it with 10 and 45 and 9 and 40. You know, we're wanting to do this test.
Yeah, a bunch of ballistics test, but try and use consistent ammo. So whether we're using Hydroshocks or American Eagle, or whether we're using the Hornady Critical Defense, we want to be able to use the same ammo for 940, 45, 10 millimeter, 357 SIG. And the ammo just isn't out there to be able to do the testing that we want to do.
So this is what I'm going to say about it. The ammo is very expensive. I mean, I spent $600 about 2 weeks ago on just buying some because, you know, I needed it. So I went out and bought it. And, you know, and then I didn't get enough of this, enough of that. So, you know, that's going to be a problem in SHTF big time. And the expense. Now you can build it up, but, you know, but here's the thing about handguns, honestly, for me, for a prepping option, it's a self-defense option, up close and personal defense. Your rifle is really more important. So if you want to go with SIG and you can put up, you know, 1,000 rounds or something, you know, there's not a problem with that.
But get another conversion barrel in 9 millimeter.
There you go. Get you a 9 millimeter conversion barrel and you're good.
Get her done. Ask, what's a better first timer pistol, the Beretta APX or the Canik TP9 Elite One?
Oh, man,
those are both excellent pistols.
Yeah.
I'll tell you something about the Beretta, which the Beretta has gotten a bad rap because of the slide is different. It's got all those ridges on it. And people are like, that's the ugliest thing I've ever seen. I'm going to tell you what, that is functional, very functional. Everywhere on that slide you grab, it's just clunk, 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 clunk. I mean, it's so easy to grab that slide and to rack it. So to me, it really makes great. Now, the Canik is superb. It is priced way lower than the real true value. Those guns match just about any premium gun out there, any of your big names.
And you could almost buy 2 of the Caniks for what you buy a Beretta for.
Maybe. So I'm a big fan of both, but I think as far as looking at it from a budget standpoint, the Canik definitely is an excellent gun. I think they match well together. I mean, I think either one would be a good choice. I think if you want the Beretta, you like just the Beretta name, you want that what's standing behind the 500 years that Beretta's been around, go with the Beretta.
A lot of aftermarket support for the Canik already, though.
There is a lot of aftermarket support coming up, but and they do stand behind their guns. Yep. So that's one of those things that's just personal preference.
And I tell you, I'm like you. Every which one fits your hand better, seems to point more naturally for you, would be the one, if you get the opportunity, you go shoot both of them and see which one fits you the best personally, and you like the way it feels the best personally. And that would be the one for you because both of those guns are great guns.
Yeah, they are.
Dennis Hayslip asked your opinion on a good low-end affordable red dot sight.
Holosun.
Yeah, or Primary Arms.
But Primary Arms, Holosun makes Primary Arms red dots.
Yep.
Those are great.
I know they do the SIG. They do the ones for SIG.
I think they do the ones for SIG. Yep. So, I mean, it's a great – in fact, Nothing Fancy did a bunch of stuff on Holosun. He was extremely impressed. We've been extremely impressed with him. We've done a number of different videos, and actually, I've done testing on those that aren't even on video. Yeah. So, I'm very impressed with the Holosun. And the SIG line is excellent. I have one of the 4s, the Romeo 4. And it's the 4M, I believe it is. It's the higher end, but the 5s are really nice. I mean, everybody that I've talked to that's had experience with the SIG optics have really liked them. So those are the two that I really like as far as budget, decent quality.
I tell you, the only thing that I've seen kill one so far has been a house fire. It's the only thing I've seen kill one. I haven't seen one break from being used or being dropped. The only thing that I've seen that's killed one has been a house fire so far. So that speaks a lot for them.
Yeah, and Vortex also makes a good red dot. So, but the Primary Arms or the Holosun, I think they have lifetime warranties on them, and they're just great scopes, great optics.
Dennis asked, do you have the M&P 40 conversion barrels?
I don't. We don't do anything for the M&Ps, primarily because there's so many different revisions in the original barrel design on those guns that it's hard to do a pre-fit drop-in barrel that doesn't require any kind of machining or fitting to work in the M&Ps, unless you go all the way up to the 2.0 and start from the 2.0 forward.
Which the 2.0 is excellent.
It's a great gun.
That is an excellent gun. I've really been impressed with the 2.0 series.
They finally got the lockup issues fixed with the 2.0 that all of the earlier iterations had, where you start, the recoil spring gets weak, gun unlocks early. You try and put a lighter spring in it to soften the recoil impulse. The gun unlocks early, and you go from shooting a group to shooting a pattern at 25 yards.
That ain't right.
No.
But the nitride finish on it, the grip is really aggressive. Too aggressive for some. I like it, but
if you sleep with your hands in socks and lotion, it's going to be too aggressive. Just saying.
Yeah, if any of y'all sleep with socks over your hands with lotion in them, you're probably not watching this video. All right.
And for that one guy out there, sorry, bud.
Do you secure your bag in the vehicle using something like a Pacsafe Net?
Yes. In fact, I've used different things, but yeah, that Pacsafe Net is beautiful because you can. I even did a video on it, and another way to do it is to run a cable, like a bicycle, cable through the trigger lock and attach it to some part of your vehicle if you have kind of an option for that. And so there are ways to do it, and you should. So yes.
Rockford F-150 base says, what do I need to convert the 40 law enforcement trade-in to a 9mm? Just the barrel? What about the mags?
Barrel and magazine, yes.
Yeah, some people, say that they need to change out the extractor, blah, and you can do that if you want. There's a slight difference, but honestly, we have shot thousands of rounds.
I tell you, the only time I've ever had reliability issues with one was when I changed the extractor out.
Oh, then you had
I had reliability issues. It was crazy. But I swapped out. I was like, I want to see what all the hype's about. We'll put a 9mm extractor in it. I didn't get 100 rounds to the gun and had a stovepipe. And I was like, that's coming out.
Yeah. So, the barrel and the magazines, that's all we've ever done, except for Robbie messing up doing one.
Well, not everybody can be perfect like you don't.
You know what they did to the last guy? It was perfect. I don't want any part of that.
Firearms 101 says, thought about doing my first build something a little different. What do you think about the 7mm rim mag? Don't see much built around this round.
So I'm guessing you were thinking about doing a bolt gun. So I don't know. They don't make anything with the AR for that. Caliber, do they? I don't think so.
Well, obviously we don't have any experience with that, but
it's a great long range round for, if you wanted to build a bolt gun around it. Probably going to run a muzzle brake on it. The Proof Research carbon fiber barrels are awesome with a 7 mag. We've done a few of those in the past, and it's really nice to do a bull barrel with a carbon fiber wrap, nice stock and everything, and still keep the rifle in like the 7.5, 8 pound range with optic on it. So a lot of options, and that's a pretty cool round to do especially if you're looking for something you can really reach out with. The 7 mag is a great round.
Smoking Joe asks, when do you think
Joe,
ammo prices will return to normal?
After the election.
Yeah, it's a possibility. I think a lot of it. I think that's definitely something. I think when the demand slows, we're going to see it. So, it's just supply and demand. And, a lot of times people get fired up about, like Palmetto State having to increase their prices. And that's, that's price gouging. No, it's not price gouging. It's supply and demand. And the thing is, unfortunately, Palmetto State can go into federal and say, okay, we want to make a deal. And we're going to buy this much ammo. And they're like, why should we make a deal? Because we're selling it as fast as we can make it. Yep. So this is the price we're going to sell it for. And, but I don't know, Joe. We'll see how things go. I mean, I'm definitely excited about prices coming down and more availability
after the election.
Yeah, probably.
I'm sticking to my first answer.
Well, during this COVID-19 thing, a lot of people are still concerned.
They are.
I went to my local gun shop when I picked this up, and he said he couldn't even look. And Buddy, usually I hang out with him and talk for a little while. Yep. He was so busy. He goes, I've never been so busy in all my life. And this was Monday. He's going, and he didn't look over. He's just like, here you go. Here's your form. Here you go. So gun people are still buying a lot of guns.
They are.
Are mag-fed shotguns bad because shells get crushed in the magazine?
It's according to what shotgun you get.
That's right. Yeah, they can be. Some of that depends on the shell. Some of it depends on the recoil impulse of the shotgun. It depends on if you're running a muzzle brake on it, your barrel length. There's a lot of variables with that. I love a magazine-fed shotgun. They are smooth, they are fast, and then you can really tune them and do a lot of work to them to make a very viable defensive platform.
And if you want a real awesome one, this VR80 is like the bomb.com.
Yeah.
We've had more fun with this thing. Super reliable. Rock Island Armory, just great company. And they have this, 20 round magazine, 25 round, and then they have this big freaking crazy.
Yep.
But,
and it worked. It was 100% reliable with that magazine. We didn't have any kind of issues out of it. No crunching of the shells or anything, But this gun's got a lighter bolt, lighter recoil system in it than a lot of your shotguns do, and it's got the option you can take this faux flash hider off of it, and you can put muzzle brakes and everything on it as well to really soften it up. Though a lot of guys are starting to swap over and use these in 3-gun.
Oh, really?
Because it's been a very reliable platform.
It's just a great gun. But I mean, there's some others out there that are good, but that's just one that we have been super impressed with.
Yes.
The Professor Dane asked, pistol caliber carbines.
Love them.
Yeah. Price no limit. I'd probably go with the SIG MPX. I think that's one of the best ones out there as far as recoil impulse and everything that you get for the money. Uses proprietary magazines, but Lancer makes the mags for it, and they're great mags. If I was looking for something that was very comparable with it and I was on a budget, I'd probably look at the Ruger PCC. You can scoop that one up, and then you can upgrade it with the parts from Midwest Industries later on, and end up with a rifle that shoots almost as soft and almost as flat right out of the box as the MPX for a third of the cost.
Yeah, and then of course the AR platform.
That's right.
I mean, there's a bazillion out there that
all
are
the
really
blowback
good
ARs
using the Glock mags, and CMMG with their radial blowback design is a very soft shooting.
Yep.
AR pistol or a rifle. Or
and I
carbine.
think that one falls kind of in between price point wise with the PCC and the MPX. So it's kind of the intermediate price point.
Yeah, but we're a big fan. I mean, it has its place. It's not necessarily the gun that you're going to, hit really long range, but definitely very effective with that high capacity magazine.
Mm-hmm.
Hold on. I said high capacity magazine. Oh, hell. No, it's, that extended magazine.
At least you didn't say clip.
I'd have to shut down. I'd have to shut the channel down. My clip. I got a banana clip this thing.
Oh, Lord. That gives a sound bite for somebody.
My brother-in-law one time, we went out to shoot. Yeah, I know. We went out to shoot one time. We were doing this testing. It was called the zombie hunting, whatever. And we were on this 4-wheeler. We were doing all this crazy stuff. And he was just really getting into guns.
Mm-hmm.
And he goes, I can't get my clip to go in. It was on video. You would not believe the hate. I mean, it was like, are you kidding me? Okay, we're done.
Damien asked, found a deal on a Kimber 1911 Custom 2 in 45 ACP for $650. Should I pull the trigger?
I'll say this about Kimber, and then I'm going to let Robbie say something, because Robbie, he's got some thoughts about it. I have the Kimber Micro 9, or the Micro 9. I have the Kimber Solo. The fit, the finish, the beauty, the absolute just beauty of those guns. When I see them, it's like I just go, oh, that looks good. And I've not been a Kimber fan traditionally. I mean, I've just been like indifferent. But once I picked up those, I just am really a Kimber fan for their finish. Now, they're 1911s.
So they had the early 1911s, which were Series 70 guns. If it's a Series 70 gun, I would say absolutely scoop it up. Hands down, that is a true custom gun. If it's one of the newer ones, which would be a Series 80 gun, $600 is still a good price point for it. Just know that most of the internal parts in the gun are metal injection molded, so the parts are made out of powdered metal that's fused together under heat and pressure. And you're probably going to want to upgrade like your hammer, your sear, your disconnector, your extractor, your ejector, probably your firing pin as well. All of those memmed parts that are in the gun, you're probably going to want to dump those out and put good quality bar stock parts in there.
You're crushing this guy. You are absolutely crushing this guy.
Which is going to add. You're probably looking at adding another $300 or $400 to the initial cost of the gun to put all of those parts in there. But at that point, you're going to have a $1,000 1911 that is a true custom 1911.
Well, there you go. So, and I was wanting to buy a Kimber, a 10 millimeter Kimber, whatever, 1911.
Rogan Brower asked, any chance of a review on a CMMG in 50 Beowulf?
Well, I would say there's a chance, but I don't know. It's funny because CMMG will send me guns every once in a while for T&E, and I really like those guys over there. And just kind of ran into them at Eric down at Iraq Veterans shoot down there a couple of times. And they're great guys, and they make great products. But usually what they do is they'll get in touch with me and say, hey, we're just introducing this, and they'll send it for test. But I might be able to check it out. We've done some 50 Beowulf.
And I tell you, I love the 50 Beowulf. I like the 50 Beowulf over the 375 SOCOM, over the 450 Bushmaster, all of those other intermediate cartridges that have some sort of tapered neck to them. The 50 Beowulf is a straight-walled cartridge that feeds, extracts, and ejects very, very well in the AR platform. It uses a rebated head, a rebated rim on the case. You've got a ton of projectile options out there, all the way up through like 600 grains if you're a reloader. So a lot of options. The 50 Beowulf is a huge hit for me, especially for pig hunting.
And the real reason he likes it is he likes the name Beowulf.
There is that.
Misty Hacker asks, which
Hey,
is
Missy.
better choice for an AR-15, gas or piston?
Gas.
Yeah, the big thing about gas is, especially for longevity, for the private person, is that if you have a catastrophic failure with a piston system, you can't fix it. I mean, you've got to have a machine shop almost. I mean, you got to have a major.
That's exactly right. You're either calling the manufacturer and you're waiting on them to ship you parts so you can repair your rifle, or you're having to find a machine shop that can make the parts for you if that company is out of business and no longer making those piston parts. With a gas impingement system, you've got a gas block, a gas tube, and a gas key on your bolt carrier group. They're all cheap, low-cost parts. You can buy extras. You can stock them. You can store them. Your gas tubes are $10 or $15. Gas keys are $10 or $15. Gas blocks are $20 or $30. You can keep 5 or 6 of those on hand, and anytime any of those parts wear out, it's a super easy swap to get that gun back up and running.
Now, that is a long-term. I'm going to buy this for home defense. I'm going to buy this for long-term. But there's a lot of really nice piston system guns out there. Of course, the AK is one of them, but there's a lot of great guns out there. So, it really is just according to how you like the recoil impulse. One of the things about a piston gun is usually that they can be heavier.
They're going to be heavier, but the bolt is going to stay cleaner on a piston gun.
Yeah, true.
Unless you're shooting suppressed, and then it really doesn't matter. But if you're shooting unsuppressed, the piston gun is going to be a little cleaner in your bolt because you're not blowing that gas back down the gas tube into the bolt carrier group. It's the piston slapping the bolt and moving it back and forth. Right. So,
but we're both big fans of the direct impingement gas system. Just because they're just straightforward. If anything goes wrong, I can fix it.
Very simple.
And so that's the big thing. But if you're looking for, if you just really like one that's a piston and it's just something you want to take to the range and shoot, and for basic shooting, I mean, it'll last usually. But for long term is more or less what I'm kind of throwing out there. But we just prefer the gas impingement system.
Michigan Grown asked, does Wheaton sell AR bolt repair kits?
No, sir.
Well, that was fast.
We did in the past, and we've sold a lot of AR parts in the past. We used to sell our survival kits and everything for the AR bolts and all, but it was something that we were getting from another supplier. It was a great supplier, great parts that we were getting, but with everything that's going on right now with the AR market and the AR industry, it's really tough to get parts. And our suppliers that we get those parts from, they don't have anything because they're using all of it to build their rifles. And so we haven't even bothered trying to get any of those parts.
But no, they do have a Glock's survival kits.
We're out of those too.
Well, there you go. Yeah, I'm sure right now there's a lot of stuff. It's a weird market.
Yeah.
Code 47 asks, any reviews on the Ruger 57?
I would love to get one. I have my feelers out, but no love so far.
I've even got ammo put back for it already.
Oh, do you? All right. Well, yeah, we really are excited about trying it out. We want to check it out. We've had the FN57 and we had a lot of fun with it. No, I would really like to get one. We'll have one sooner or later. I'll probably end up I'm not going anywhere except I just have friends, that in the industry where I can maybe get a T&E gun, but they're just really hard to get right now. So I don't have any friends at Ruger.
Dennis Hayslip asked, some say the vaccine for COVID-19 could kill hundreds of thousands, and we should be more concerned about such a vaccine versus the virus itself. What say you?
I'm not a big fan of vaccines. I know a lot of people like to laugh about things, but I'm not a big fan. And if you've studied any of the stuff with Bill Gates, it's a lot of shady bull crap. But, I don't know. We don't take the flu vaccine. We don't. But I wouldn't be surprised. But honestly, not having facts in front of me, I can't say that. I mean, I can say it, but I can't, definitively say this is this. But for me, and, there's been talk about forcing people to take vaccines. You can kiss my butt. I'm not taking a vaccine if you're going to try to force it on. Mm-hmm. So, I have a lot of mixed emotions about that whole mess anyway.
Robert Murray says, hi, I'm Rob. I live in Virginia, and my son and I joined local militia, but can't train due to lockdown. Can you suggest any channels so we can train in our home?
One thing about training is, if you get like the laser training systems, there's a lot out there where you can, and I've done them, I've tested them. I mean, there's some great systems where you can, you put inside the chamber, you just have a laser and you can actually bring it up and, you hit the target. I mean, those are really good. Airsoft is a great option for that. We did a lot. In fact, I remember my son Grant, my youngest son Grant, he set up a course and he's going through it, and shooting. But that is also a great way to train. And I used to do it in my shop. I'd have a box set up and I'd shoot. I have a target and I just sit there and pull it up, and shoot it.
Yep. And Pat McNamara's got a lot of training stuff on his website. YouTube, Instagram, and Facebook. He's got a lot of training stuff on his sites as well. So I would check him out.
Yeah, and then when there comes into just doing the classroom type training, that's definitely.
And he's got everything from some shooting stuff, physical fitness, just a ton of different stuff.
He's a beast,
he is a beast, and his videos are cool.
Yeah, he's cool. I like him.
Rivers asked, "What's the best way to start prepping in limited space?"
Well, you got to think about the rule of threes. And first thing is, and this is what I always say, fill a pantry, make sure your pantry is full, and you can really buy canned food very reasonably. And I just did a video on it. As long as it's stored in 75 degree and below temperatures, it lasts indefinitely. Unless it has a lot of high acid content, sometimes tomatoes and pineapple, things like that. But here's the thing about canned food is with the sanitary conditions that they can it, they put it under a heat pressure. They seal that can. It's got a lining typically inside of it, and it really protects the food. And I know a few years ago, it hadn't been that long, they found some old rations from World War I, canned food. They opened them up.
There's actually a TV show about that right now.
Wow. Okay. Yep. So, they eat it. So for me, one of the first things I would do is to stock up on canned food because it'll just last. And then, of course, your water supply. You need to make sure that you have some kind of water supply. Now, if you're living in a closed space, you don't want to, or a smaller space, you don't want to load up a bunch of water bottles. You want to have some, but you want to have a filter system.
That's right.
We use the big Berkey, and we use it for everything. We use it for tea. We drink out of it. We have one of the big ones. And we really believe in that big Berkey. I mean, that is our thing. We have a pool. So if that can be a water source if we need it. We have a creek. We have a river not far from here. I mean, so we do you can't do a rain catchment system in an apartment, but what the crap is that? But, make sure make sure that you stock up on needed medical supplies, and get some classes, go out and take some classes. But those are the things. And of course, with guns and ammunition, you want to, that's a big one that you need to at least be able to defend what you have. So fire starting, having a way to start fire, having a little fire kit, you're just doing some basics. You can really have a pack like this with all the survival supplies you need to survive. And then of course you want to have your food, your medical, and your water taken care of. Even if you just get a filter straw or a Katadyn,
life straws or something, or
get something like that, because you can only live 3 days without water. The other thing is make sure you have extra blankets and things like that, especially in an apartment.
Mm-hmm.
If the power goes down in wintertime, you're going to need to be able to keep your body temperature at a certain level. So just there's some basics. I just did a video on Sensible Prepper, Prepping 101. It kind of goes through some of the things that you need. You can scale that down to fit what you have. Because here's the thing, guys. If you have nothing, panic sets in, just like we saw. It was panic city. People were flying in and going into grocery stores and going crazy and having fights and everything else. If you have supplies already laid out, when things go down, there's not panic. There's concern. There's not panic, and you can make better decisions. Better decisions.
Mac Pacers ask, what do you think about Como ignoring Remington Arms' offer to help by making ventilators and PPEs?
Well, this is a family-friendly channel, so I can't really say what I think about Como. I'm glad that he's at least praising. He's not criticizing Trump, and he's praising Trump for a lot of the things he's done. That actually surprised me.
Yeah.
But I think that he is another petty tyrant that wants to be bossy and have put his will on the people. And why y'all elected, in New York, why they elected him, is just like his brother. His brother's a moron, and they're manipulative and they're cheats. And so I think that he's being manipulative and he's being political. You know what? This COVID-19 is terrible. Let's work together from all sources we can work from. And when you don't, you're hurting yourself and you're hurting your people that you're supposed to be representing. So that's what I think about it. Yes.
Corey Norton asks,
hey, Corey,
thoughts on the CZ Scorpion Evo 3 as a substitute for a small-framed wife that struggles with an AR?
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. CZ, the CZ Evo 3 is beautiful. It's just beautiful. It's a great firearm. I've got the carbine. I got a pistol. I've got the micro. And I had another pistol, but I sold it or traded it with a buddy of mine who's in law enforcement that was dying for it. And I'm big fans of the CZ. And yes, and the ammo cost is much cheaper than the 5.56.
Well, we always talk about the AR 9mm and the Ruger 9mm, but man, the CZ is one that you always just seem to overlook it, or I always seem to overlook it, but those things are awesome.
Well, it's funny when we had the earlier question about
it wasn't even one that
I was thinking of the pistol. So he said carbine, so I just I didn't, but yeah, the CZ Evo 3 is excellent. The Strebog. Now it's a pistol with a brace. You can get the brace for it. That is an excellent firearm in 9mm, and it's actually cheaper. But those are made in Slovakia. They are awesome firearms. But yes, I think that's a great choice.
From Colton, California, much love done.
Hey, Colton.
My first AR-15, I got a lower receiver. What is a decent upper for an Anderson lower? Please let me know. Thank you.
Palmetto State Armor. And if you want to get something to step it up a little bit on Palmetto State, get the FN Hammer Forged barrel.
Yep. Yeah. Get a free float handguard, Carpenter 158 bolt, BCM charging handle, or one of the Radian Raptor charging handles, and then a good muzzle brake on it. And it'll be, I guess California, you'd have to have it pinned and welded if you did a muzzle brake. But yeah, that'd be everything you'd ever want in an upper.
Yeah, I mean they do. We've been down to the Palmetto State factory, and they did a tour for us. They make more AR-15 barrels than anybody in the country, and maybe in the world probably. They make over 2,000 barrels per day, and it was funny because the guy that runs the factory there said, "I don't know what all these people are doing with all these barrels, but we can't keep up." He said, if we made more, it would be more." So. Anyway, yeah, we're big fans of Palmetto State because the price is really reasonable. They run really great deals, and it's good quality. And I've not always had a lot of confidence in Palmetto State originally, but then I realized the quality is there. They just sell direct, so their prices are lower.
Yeah.
So
Aero Precision would be another good alternative.
Aero Precision, and Aero Precision is going to be a little more expensive. Aero Precision is great too, So, I mean, but there are some good ones out there, and they kind of standardize them pretty much. So, but I just go ahead and plug Palmetto State just because I'm a big fan, and they're here in South Carolina.
We have a few questions about why y'all aren't 6 feet apart and don't have masks. So maybe just explain why Robbie's allowed to come to our house.
Because he's family.
Yeah. Well, it's because we have been quarantined for the last 18 weeks. and the only people that we are around are one another. So it's no different than being around your family in the evenings or during the day at home. You know, we're the only people that we are around are each other.
Well, and let me say this, because we have, in fact, Shannon, my wife, will not, our son right now, he is working at a Chick-fil-A not too far from us, but he lives in 2 houses over from us, in my mother-in-law's house that she lived in before when she moved to Chattanooga. And he can't come over here.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, my wife's like, we go outside and sometimes we've had dinner outside, and he would sit, at a distance. But our family has been extremely careful. She was an RN, labor and delivery nurse, for years, and so she really has a thing. Now, one thing about Robbie is he has a mother at home that has Alzheimer's and that has, lung issues already.
That's right.
So he has to be extremely careful not to bring something home. My mom and dad live next door. My dad will be 80 this year. So we are extremely careful. We take total precautions about, our safety. So that is the reason. Plus the camera angle is not wide enough. Yep. That's probably the real reason.
Nelson R. asked, Vortex versus Holosun red dots.
Vortex makes great optics, but I just like Holosun.
I'd probably give the nod to Holosun as well.
Yeah. I mean, because honestly, they make them in the same factory. Because I know that Vortex scopes are made in the same factory that Primary Arms are made.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's funny, guys, but it's just the way it is. But they make the same in the same factory, and I would bet my bottom dollar that Vortex Holosun,
the red dots come from the same place as well.
Now, I don't know that for a fact, but I do know that the Primary Arms and Vortex are made in the same factory. I know that for a fact, but because I've talked to Primary Arms about it. But the Vortex, I'm sure. But I've had great experience with Vortex, so I have nothing critical to say about them. They're great. I've beat the crap out of them. We've done the same with Holosun.
Mm-hmm.
I think either one would be an excellent choice.
Yep.
But I'm a big fan of Vortex, so I don't want to take away from that.
Chris C. will ask, what is your opinion on the new Crimson Trace red dots?
Number one, Crimson Trace is just the deal. I mean, they do a great job. But now, as far as their optics, now their lasers, I mean, they're the deal, the name that's out there. We've done some tests on some of their lights, which is kind of funny. That's something new that they've done. And I did a review on it, and their weapons lights.
I don't have any experience at all with the red dots.
But no, I don't have any. I probably will, because I've been doing a few things with Crimson Trace. They got in touch with me and said, hey, would you be willing to take a look? That's why I did the flashlights.
Mm-hmm.
So that may be something. But I'll tell you, Crimson Trace is a solid company. And so, I think that it would be a good option. But I just haven't had any experience with the red dots.
Ron's asked, what would you recommend for a budget AR? I'm looking at Ruger and Smith & Wesson.
Comparable to one another.
Yeah, they're very comparable. You got name brands. The Smith & Wesson is just a good solid. I mean, and you got people that are rabid fans of the Smith & Wesson MP-15. The Ruger, of course, it's a Ruger, and they're just good solid guns. So either one would be great. I mean, either one would be a good choice. I would probably lean towards Smith & Wesson
just because they've been building them a little longer.
Yeah. But that's the only reason.
That platform.
Not because of any quality. I would, even though I love Ruger, I'm a big fan of Ruger, but I would probably just lean toward the Smith & Wesson. Just would. Don't know why, but I would. Maybe because they've been building them longer. Yeah.
How do you like the new Ruger PC charger?
Well, I think I really would love it, because I really love the carbine. I mean, the PC9 carbine. And Robbie is maybe even a bigger fan.
Yeah.
This thing, and this one has the Midwest Industries rail on it. We did that for a video, but we are huge fans.
I tell you, the only thing that it needs is a drum magazine, and this thing would look just like a PPSH 41.
Yeah, it would, with this especially.
Mm-hmm.
And we can do that.
Yep.
We can get us a drum.
Yep.
In fact, I've got one. I was to do that. But this is the charger. It's just the same thing. It's just cut out. It's just cut off and shut off. Chopped off.
Shorter.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
But I am really, that's one of the things that's really seriously on my list. I'm definitely wanting to get a hold of one. So hopefully that'll come up soon. I got these Rugers on my list.
Yeah.
But that's something that I think you'd love it, because we love the carbine, PC9 carbine. So, okay, we're getting down to time.
About 30 seconds till 1.
Okay, we'll have to sign off, so we'll go a little over, but not long. But guys, we really appreciate it. Thanks for jumping in, and I hope that the internet connection was good. We have had some issues. In fact, we've got our internet provider coming out today to take a look because they said we actually have problems, but we tested it and it seemed to do fine. But hope you guys enjoyed it. We just love to hang out. We are on Facebook Live every Tuesday, typically, except once a month at this time here on YouTube. We're going to be showing up again next month. But if you want to see the Don and Robbie show acting crazy, come on over and see us over on Facebook. We've built up there's a lot of people coming over there, and we have a lot of fun. A lot of times we bring out things that we're getting ready to review, new things. We're showing different things. And so we really appreciate you coming out. I really appreciate Robbie for taking time to come over and, taking time away from his custom gun building and his Glock barrels and flat face triggers. I'm telling you guys, check out WheatonArms.com. Just excellent. But of course, Robbie and I, we're good friends. We like to go shoot all the time. And of course, with Sarah Mack over here, again, Sportsman's Guide, use Sooch, just SOOTCH.
For $20 off every $100 purchase.
That too, but also
not
don't
Scooch.
use Scooch.
Not
That's
Scooch.
my point. $100, you get $20 off every $100 purchase at Sportsman's Guide.
Not
using
Scooch.
Not Scooch. no, somebody will go not Scooch. Yeah, no, Sooch, no zeros. But anyway, we're having a lot of fun. You guys take care. Please take care of yourself. Guys, here's the thing: freedom is precious, but responsibility also goes in with that. And so let's be careful. These protests that are going on, I support, and I know Trump's actually going, hey, I support freedom altogether, but also remember that it does have some responsibility that we need to take care of and make sure that we're feathering it in right, because there are people, especially the vulnerable, the elderly, they can really, it can kill them. So, we need to take that into consideration. But we also need to get this country back on track.
That's right.
And so thank God Trump's in office. That's all I got to say. But because can you imagine Hillary?
I could. Yeah, I could.
It would be SHTF. So really thank you guys for coming out, and hope you enjoyed it. And we love you guys. Hang in there. Be safe. Be strong. Be of good courage. God bless America. Long live the Republic.